Welcome back to 4 Cities. Today, we're going to increase land values by building a pedestrian zone. Yeah, the money just comes rolling down the sidewalk when you do this. I'll show you how. Population right now, 14,200 or so. Cash on hand, 706,000. 4 Cities is the battle between one man and the artificial intelligence behind the game City Skylines. We build the city. The robots live in the city. Then, we destroy the city. This is where it gets interesting, as we observe the reactive behavior of artificial intelligence to environments, supply chains, and authoritarian directives. That's me. Through this exercise, we collectively learn about the future of humans in a world dominated by robots and artificial intelligence, or AI. The motivations and actions of those in control will always be in question. Just don't tell anybody. So just during that short introduction, we've got 50,000 more in cash and another 1,000 in population. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about here as far as land values, because that's the key to making some really big bank in this game. Let's go down to our views, and you want to come down to the $ right there. Okay, so according to the map, the green is the highest value land, meaning the most income. Property taxes, one of my favorites. And then of course the blue sort of in the middle, and then the gray like outside the city. Nothing, nothing, nothing. See this blue along the coastline of the river and also the ocean? Okay, so that's the really valuable part. And then the green is where improvements have been done and the value has gone way, way, way up. Okay, so where is that? Well, it's the park areas, where there's some residential areas around the park areas, that actually have gone to green here, some levels up. This little shopping area has got some value. The blue's okay, but what we're really looking for is green. We've got this area here where there's a nice mix of shopping and residential. Okay, this is considered really good. And then right here along the coast of the river, we've got this little section where the buildings have leveled up. We've got a little dash of green. Okay. And then this is the area we're going to switch it up. This section right here is where we're going to build the pedestrian area. This whole section. Going to extend the tram line. And we'll have to relocate, or at least partially relocate, these people while this builds up. So I'll show you how to do all that as well. First thing we need to do, though, is fix a couple things. So when you start the game, you're allowed to use graveyards, because remember, all your robots have a life cycle. Some of them, well, eventually all of the robots die. And initially you're going to have graveyards, but what you want to get into is crematoriums, and that's because they, of course, never fill up. So that's going to be down here in healthcare, and they're really not that expensive. They're really not that big. I don't necessarily like to put it right next to the church. I think that makes people feel a little nervous. So we'll go down here. I don't know if you going into church, the first thing you want to see is the crematorium. Yeah. And then we need to come over here to this graveyard and empty it out a little bit. What they're going to do is start taking some of the bodies from here and empty it out into the crematorium. The crematorium also take the workload off of transporting some of the dead around. Yeah. See, like this one down here. See? Someone in this building. Yeah. There's the hearse picking them up. And, yeah, right there. So, yeah, they're probably gonna, I'm sure they're probably going to the graveyard at this point, because we just built the crematorium. Yeah, kind of dark, but this is what you have to do when you're managing a big city like this. Okay, just so you know. Next up, we're going to need some more recycling. It's only occasionally, but we've already got a couple of places where there's they got the garbage stacked on the sidewalk somewhere. So we can't have that. If you get enough of that, there's one landmark you have to unlock by having an excessive amount of garbage built up in the city, and I think there's a video of that somewhere out on the internet where the whole city is just piled up with garbage. It's simply to unlock that one landmark. So we're going to add some recycling. We've got our semi-industrial area down here, and I think what we're going to do is just extend this road just a bit. Okay. And let's see if we can bring it down just a hair. I only need it to be a little bit right there. Okay. And then bring this over. That's what I really want. And then I'm going to just take it down like this. Okay. And then let's go down to garbage, and we're going to add one more recycling center. I like recycling centers. They're just very little pollution for the most part. It's good for the environment. Because some of the other disposal assets, they create a lot more pollution. It's really awful. And your city benefits because some of the things that come out of the recycling center get recycled back into your industries. And so less purchase of raw materials, or maybe a discounted price. Recycling is never free. Let's all get on board with that one. Then the other thing I think we're going to do is I feel like we really need a train station down here. It just, for the longest time, we had a train station down here. But then when we moved it, we decided not to because it gets serviced by trams. But I want to show you something. We're just going to take this out now, that retail space. So it's really interesting. At some point, because of the way the city's being designed, see, we've got this tile. Here's where the train and the road comes in, and then that is essentially our only way in and out, especially this spot. You can already see we've got some congestion, so we've got a plan for this in the future. This area here is going to get more built up. We're going to put some skyscrapers in here. There might be a mall over here, and so what we really need is a train station here and also here, so that the community, the city, can start using that as just not just access to outside connections, but start using it as public transportation. Remember, eventually we're going to go out this way, and the train will come through here. We'll have a cargo hub. There's probably going to be a cargo and tourist airport out here. And so we're going to need these connections as this population grows. Otherwise, this is just going to be a mess through here. There's just going to be one continuous line of cars, and we've already got that here. And that's, we've already got some congestion that needs some relief. There's just not much we can do about this at this point. Again, until we can start shifting some of this traffic down here. Okay, that's the plan. So let's get into our railway improvements. I think the first thing we need to do is take out, I'm going to suggest back to here, it may be a little further. Yeah, we got to take out all this track we just put in. I'll show you why. It took me a while to find the right train station for this. Think that'll do it? Okay. Out of the Japanese Railway expansion pack, this one small elevated train station will do it. Okay, so it's going to be tight fit. And one of the things we have to do when we change this up is move our gate. This is the gate to our city. And so I'm just going to have to move this to... that'll work right there. Okay, and then we got to go back, and this little train, this is the only one that'll fit here, is this guy, this little guy right here. And we can either do it right in front of City Hall, or down to there. Okay, yeah, see all the smiley faces with all the, since they get some transportation. Yeah. Alright. It's gonna be a tricky fit, that's for sure. Freeform. Start at this side and see what we got. Okay, like that. And then this is going to be a little tricky for sure. Because... see, that's not going to fit. Okay, we got to back it up. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's going to have to be right there. Okay. Let's see if we can hook it up this time. We got a freeform. Okay. Let's go to this side. Gotta be careful here because I'll have to take one more of these out. Just the way we're cutting a path here. Let's see. Okay. Alright, let's see how that looks. Okay. That'll pass for me, I think. Okay. Now we got a train station back to City Hall here. Very good. Again, this is going to be really important coming up. And one more change I want to make here. So the structure that comes out of, you know, the track. Let's see. I don't know if I can replace it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, upgrade. There. And I just like the look and feel of the high-speed rail aqueduct. The one that comes straight out of the game from the railway part, I don't know, it looks kind of older, right? It's not the same thing. It's got that older feel of, I don't know. But that looks so much cleaner. I just like it better. It's a little more modern. And we got a train coming through now. Let's see how this is working. But I think we got that problem solved. Yeah, there it goes. And again, this is going to be a big part of our local transportation network. So we want to get that fixed right away. Got a little problem here. 2 buildings with noise complaints. And so what we're going to do is just rezone these. Probably rezone all of these for commercial or office even. Yeah. I think we'll just rezone it all for office. It's probably a little more appropriate. There we go. Let's see, and then we'll do a little commercial on the end here. What do you say? Make sure when you're doing it in the old European style that you make sure you do high density. Let's see how that works. Okay. Very nice. That came out nice with the train. Okay. Get that ready for expansion again. Beautiful. So I think that tidies things up a little bit here at Silver Shores. Four Cities is expanding nicely. You know, the Japanese railroad station isn't an exact match with the European motif, but it is the only one that fit, and it'll work. It's just going to be important that we have one more train station here to help with, we're not doing monorails most likely, so this is going to be it. Metro. Yeah, Metro can be very expensive, and the problem with Metro here is the space. I mean, Metro works best when you have very, very dense cities. We're going to have a dense city, but it's all going to be in this spot. So this is the area we need to take care of, and that's why I thought the extra train station would do well. And then what we're going to do is just run trams. Now, before we do that, and here's where the displacement is going to happen. I know this is going to make some of you upset, but what we're going to do is rezone this whole area. And let's start with this section. There goes the school. And we're just going to do this whole thing right here. Now, when you build a pedestrian area, you're going to have to maintain some roads around the periphery, okay? And then you're also going to need sections where you have the little maintenance buildings for the pedestrian areas, because that's where everything interacts. Your police and fire and other emergency vehicles and some service vehicles will still drive on the pedestrian areas, but that's about it. And so our little job here is going to be to lay out a pedestrian area that takes care of all those needs. Okay. Roll down here to the pedestrian section. And what do we got here? Well, the first thing you have to do is define an area that's going to be a pedestrian area. And for now, what we're going to do is go through here, over to here. Just this section for right now. It's going to be bigger, but just for this one little secchi, we're going to put it right there. Okay. Now, you can place a area service point. Now, this is important. This is where all your service vehicles go. And we're going to put that up here, right in this section here. Probably end up moving it, but for right now, right there. Okay. Now suddenly everything's opened up. And what we're going to be looking for is tram. Okay. Let's go see what our choices are. Bluestone. Oh, that's a trolley bus. Sorry. Tram tracks. Here we go. Now we can have these small sandstone, bluestone, cobblestone, and then large. Okay, so I don't know. My preference is, like, I'll show you. Here's the cobblestone one. It's, which, by the way, we gotta go upgrade here. Okay. Alright, let's go take a look at this. See what this looks like. Okay. Yeah, that's the cobblestone. It's okay. Nice little pattern there. Whoopee. Okay. Oh, let's try this. There we go. And then here's the bluestone. Okay. Upgrade. Ha! Let's try it this way. Okay, there's the bluestone look. I don't know. You like that? It's kind of a nice square pattern. But here's my favorite. I don't know. Again, it's a personal preference thing, right? That's what the game's about. Personal preference. Whichever you think. You have to kind of like what you do, right? Now I'm doing the large sandstone pedestrian street with tram tracks. And let's see what we got here. Okay, now that's what, I don't know. I like the feel. It's kind of golden-y. It's a little brighter. It's just my preference, guys. You make your own decisions. Okay? Okay, here we go. Alright, so there's the first little tram-tracked pedestrian road. Okay. Now we're still going to leave this crossroad here. That's how the vehicles get to our little service center here. Okay. And I think we want this to go this way. Oh, space already occupied. Okay, so that's the school. It's not going to fit there anymore, so we're going to have to move it. And that's okay, because we're actually going to put a different school there. We'll come back to that. And We're going to switch this up to just a sandstone walkway. Okay. Take out the tram tracks on this one. My bad. Okay. And then we're also going to do it here. Okay. And then school, we'll have to relocate that. Notice I've got the game stopped for a minute. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to fit here. It's going to be tight. We're just going to drop it there for right now. We'll come back to that problem. Plus we'll end up using a different school most likely. For these density issues they have a better school. It's bigger. Okay. Now as you can see we have several spots where our tram line needs to be expanded. This is super simple. We're just going to go down here. And we don't want this street too busy. It's going to be a lot of residential. A lot of high-rise residential. And so okay, I think we're going to go with that. Now, upgrade. And we're going to go along the river here a little ways. Oh, gotta get this little spot, don't we? And then I think we're gonna bring it this way as well. Hook up down here. And take us back over to Tram Park. Okay. And then we're also going to go down here because eventually this will go all the way down to the ocean. Smokin' Charlie's village. We're going to upgrade these neighborhoods into completely new sections. So that's going to need some tram tracks. But for now, I think we're just going to bring it here and then bring it down this way. Connect it all up. Okay. So I think that took care of all the errors as far as the tram goes. Let's see here. Turn it on. Okay. So we've got our pedestrian area laid out. And we just need to add in some... We're going to be experimenting with exactly which type. But let's go for some density. And see what pops up. It should go real fast because obviously there's a lot of people who are homeless right now looking for a place to live. Let's see what happens here. You can layer. So for instance, you can layer your zoning on top of a pedestrian area just like anything else, right? So we're also going to do this. And what that's going to allow us to do is define. Okay, so we're not going to use this name. We'll switch this next time around, but get in here to the Aspen District. So you can change the style of the buildings. European, University, Modern City Center, Mid-Century Modern. We've got them all. Africa in miniature. Get all kinds of interesting things in that one. Let's take a look. Sure. Let's see what that does. Can even put the game on fast forward here. Let's see what we get. There we go. Okay, so those are that's an African one, I believe, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, so that's kind of the African motif. But let's switch it up again just for fun until we make a decision. Check out Brooklyn, Queens. Haven't seen this one yet. Some of the most recent expansion packs have some really interesting buildings, and the way they integrated the game was great. Let's take a quick second here to mention that if you'd like to support the show, buy some music. Experiment 240. You can find it at my421.com. Really appreciate it. Okay. Well, again, this is the Brooklyn motif here. And we'll just do one more for fun. So I think that let's do Modern City Center here real quick. I use this one often. It's just got a it's not a completely clean look, but it's pretty nice for a modern city center. Coming up next time, we'll decide exactly the motif here. We're going to build a mall. Yeah, put a little itty bitty mall in here, and then fill this in. Then we'll reroute our tram lines and our bus lines. So yeah, it's gonna be. So here's the modern city center. A little different. The robot's kind of confused, not really sure what kind of building to put in here. So yeah. That's what we love. Four cities. Silver Shores.